In this video, we'll be taking a look at two NFL games happening on August 18, 2023, and providing you with free team picks and total picks for each one of those games. So 2 picks for each game, 4 picks in total. Welcome back to Cash Out Sports. Let's dive right into it. Oh, and don't forget to subscribe and to click the bell icon to get notified as soon as these videos get released so that you have more time to plan out your bets as we provide these videos on a daily basis. I can guarantee that you'll have all the important information that you'll need on these two NFL games after fully watching this video. One more thing before we start, if you would like to gain access to our best exclusive sports picks to take your journey to the next level, then check out our Patreon in the link down below where we offer our best single picks, parlay picks, and much more. Now let's get started. Carolina Panthers versus New York Giants. On Friday night, the Carolina Panthers and New York Giants clash at MetLife Stadium for Week 2 of the preseason. Both teams have one exhibition game in the books so far. The Panthers were shut out in their first preseason game 27-0. The Giants fell 21-16 on the road to the Detroit Lions. Both teams want to get into the win column before the final week. The Panthers come into this game with a 0-1 record, and the offense really looked poor against the New York Jets. Bryce Young didn't play a whole lot but completed 4 of his 6 passes for 21 yards. There has been a lot of praise about Young coming from Panthers camp, and with him expecting to get more run in this game, they are going to need him to be better. There will be some growing pains with Young, but throwing a touchdown or 2 here would really help the confidence. There is also a ton of battles going on for the wide receivers, and that is going to be something to watch here. There were 13 different players that caught at least 1 pass against the Jets. The defense in the first game up 27 points, but 14 of those points came in the fourth quarter when the third and fourth stringers were playing. In this game, especially late, the defense is also going to need to step. There might not be a real battle for the backup quarterback for the Giants, but Nate Sudfeld didn't look all that impressive. He completed 15 of his 28 passes for 194 yards, but he did throw 2 interceptions. The interceptions are going to need to be something that is cleaned up here. Adrian Martinez also got some run, and he completed 4 of his 7 passes for 37 yards. Martinez also rushed for 14 yards and a touchdown. On defense, the defense looked good in the first half, but in the second half the defense really showed some holes, and that led to the defeat. In this game, the defense is going to need to be good in the second half. The Panthers are 6-1 against the spread in their last 7 versus the NFC and 6-2 against the spread in their last 8 overall. The over is 4-1 in Carolina's last 5 overall. Meanwhile, the Giants are 5-1 against the spread in their last 6 overall and 5-1 against the spread in their last 6 on turf. New York is 4-1 against the spread in their last 5 versus the NFC. Bryce Young and the Panthers head to MetLife Stadium on Friday night to take on the New York Giants. In Young's short debut against the Jets last week, pressure was a concern for the Panthers' offensive line. Young played a total of 11 snaps and was hit on 3 of them, with 1 being a sack. Matt Corral came in and experienced the same issues, which means that blocking will be a focal point for the Panthers in this game. I don't expect Young to play much in this game, with the pass block issues risking injury. An easy fix to poor protection can be short passes, which result in longer, time-consuming drives. The Giants showed last week that they have extremely good secondary depth, which could provide further issues for the Panthers. With more starters likely coming into play in this matchup, the Giants should have the upper hand both offensively and defensively, considering they have more experienced quarterbacks and better coaching. It's tough getting a feel for preseason games, especially early on, but it goes without saying that both teams could use a much better showing in this second week. New York gained a tepid 216 yards on offense, had just 13 first downs to the Lions' 19, and went just 2 of 5 on 3rd and 4th down attempts. Carolina didn't fare much better against the Jets' defense, with a 3-for-1 rate on 3rd and 4th downs alongside a pair of turnovers. I expect the Giants to get things done in front of their home fans, as Young and Corral are still settling into the professional setting. We should see a little more action from the key players in this one, and I believe that New York will get out in front well enough to post a victory in this one. So the New York Giants to win and cover the spread as favorites is our full game side pick. It is unclear how long and if Bryce Young will play in the second preseason game. He was beat up in limited reps in the first game, and they need the kid upright for this season. The line did not look good, giving up 5 sacks, so Coach Frank Reich may be more than cautious with the rookie top pick. Spencer Brown received most of the carries at running back, carrying it 8 times for 34 yards, but big plays will be few and far between against a stingy Giants D. I'm not confident we'll see significant progress from the Panthers' offense this week. The Giants will be more committed defensively after surrendering a fourth-quarter lead last week. That could spell disaster for the inexperienced Carolina quarterbacks and the below-average offensive line protecting them. New York doesn't need to tax Jones, Barkley, or any of its other stars against the lowly Panthers. They could play, but it won't be for too long. The Giants have high expectations for this season after overachieving last year. They won't risk that by putting their stars in harm's way in the preseason. The former Syracuse and Illinois quarterback DeVito may have some talent, but he's not going to lead the offense up and down the field enough to push the total to 40-plus points. This will be a low-scoring game, but most of the bigger plays made by Tyrod Taylor in the first quarter against a porous Panthers D take the under in what should be limited action for Bryce Young and no action for Daniel Jones. Under the projected total is our full game total pick. Cincinnati Bengals versus Atlanta Falcons. The Cincinnati Bengals travel to Atlanta to take on the Falcons on Friday night in Week 2 of the NFL preseason. The Bengals are 0-1 in the preseason and will spend the final 2 weeks of the preseason without starting quarterback Joe Burrow, who is recovering from a calf injury. The Falcons are 1-0 in the preseason and are going to be led by second-year quarterback Desmond Ridder this season. The Cincinnati Bengals are 0-1 this preseason after they lost to the Green Bay Packers by a score of 36-19 in their first game. Cincinnati was able to keep pace in the first half and they actually led the game late in the second quarter, but Green Bay scored 22 of the last 25 points to pull away with the win. The Bengals were outgained by a total of 437-282, but they were able to force 3 turnovers in the game. Cincinnati got 4 field goals from Evan McPherson and a 43-yard interception returned for a touchdown by Tyson Anderson. The Bengals need to show more discipline in this game, as they were flagged 10 times for 95 yards against the Packers. Burrow is dealing with a calf injury, so we should see Trevor Siemian and Jake Browning under center once again. Siemian went 15-28 for 121 yards and 1 interception, while Jake Browning went 10-17 for 95 yards and 1 interception. I am not confident in either quarterback for Cincinnati, which is reflected in the line heavily favoring the Atlanta. The Atlanta Falcons are 1-0 so far this preseason after they defeated the Miami Dolphins by a score of 19-3 last week. Atlanta took the lead in the second quarter and they were able to hold Miami without a point until 5 minutes into the fourth quarter. Atlanta scored in all 3 phases of the game, with Godwin Igwebuike scoring on an 11-yard run, D.L. Ford scoring on a 79-yard punt return, and Breon Borders scoring on a 26-yard interception return. Atlanta was outgained by a total of 357-248, but they held Miami to 3-10 on third down attempts and 0-2 on fourth downs. Atlanta also forced 4 turnovers in the game. We only saw Logan Woodside under center for the Falcons in this game, where he went 14-23 for 146 yards. Godwin Igwebuike led the way for Atlanta on the ground, rushing 13 times for 70 yards and 1 score. We are expected to see the starters in this game, at least for a little bit, including quarterback Desmond Ridder. While both teams have playoff aspirations, only the Bengals can legitimately have thoughts of a Super Bowl berth in 2023. With that in mind, expect the Bengals to remain very conservative in the preseason to keep all of their starters healthy entering what should be a challenging season in what could be the best division in football, the American Football Conference North. The Falcons have a team built to earn a playoff spot but aren't Super Bowl driven just yet. Ridder has a lot of game experience to earn this season and his learning curve would have to be very swift to get the Falcons to the Super Bowl. Still, this is a strong roster with 2 viable quarterbacks in Ridder and Heinicke. I expect both of them to get a good amount of playing time on Friday night, and more of it will be against the Bengals' second-team defense than their first-team defense. The Falcons are youthful and optimistic, and that should reflect itself in this matchup with a more veteran Bengals team. While I have to give the Falcons some sort of respect after thoroughly beating up on the Dolphins in their preseason opener, this still feels like a little bit much. I get it, we're not seeing Joe Burrow for the Bengals, and I doubt we would have even if he was healthy, but I'm not at a point where I want to lay this many points with the Falcons even in the preseason. I think Cincinnati's defense improves here and helps get the job done. So the Cincinnati Bengals to cover the spread as underdogs is our full game side pick. Joe Burrow will not be available for this preseason game, and he will likely sit next game. There is also the matter of Burrow's pending contract extension that likely will make him one of the highest paid players in the league, so the Bengals and Burrow do not want to risk anything putting him on the field. Defensively, the Bengals are strong but do not expect to see many defensive starters with the exception of a series or two. Atlanta comes in as a 6.5-point favorite considering Ritter and Robinson will see a lot of repetitions in the first half. One should expect them to put up some points on a crew of backups playing for the Bengals. The Bengals offense should have a decent showing this week with at least a brief appearance from some of the team's better wideouts with both Chase and Boyd expecting to play a series or two. Don't discount the quarterback battle between Simeon and Browning impacting the Bengals offense and allow for more scoring from Cincinnati. On the Falcons side of the ball, Redder and Heenek will both see time on Friday night with the team's first string offense, and that should create more scoring opportunities for Atlanta as well. This should be a second straight Bengals game that goes past the total. Over the projected total is our full game total pick. That's all for now, so if you have any other games you would like reviewed, then leave a comment down below with the game you would like analyzed. Subscribe to our channel, leave a like on this video, and we'll get to it as soon as we possibly can. We would also love to hear your opinion on the picks presented to you in this video, whether you agree or disagree with them, so leave a comment down below and do let us know.